Okay, so I need some help with this orange cat AI generated content that I keep seeing on TikTok because it's everywhere on TikTok, and I'm so confused by it. And I know what you're thinking, Jason. You're too old to be on TikTok. Everything should confuse you on TikTok, and if it's not confusing you, then you've got some issues. Well, that's partially true. I mean, I understand about 25% of the things that I see on TikTok or the trends and stuff like that, but I like to go down rabbit holes. And speaking of rabbit holes, like one of the coolest things about growing up in the 80s, and I grew up in the 80s, and while I'm talking about my growing up in the 80s, I'm going to start playing the cat videos here. I grew up in the 80s, and we used to have amazingly violent cartoons on TV. I remember waking up Saturday morning and just watching like Tom and Jerry, and Tom and Jerry would just like, he would blow, or Wile E. Coyote, he would get blown up with Acme explosives and TNT. And I look at the orange cat videos, and they physically, literally cannot show you any violence. Even when the cat attempts to, I guess, cook the thing, it doesn't really, it never really shows the violence. And in a way, it feels like they're treating us like infants, the users of this app. Like, we can't be trusted to have a cat eat a chicken, to show that kind of video. Like, what kind of, if I want to do educational videos to show kids about how cats, can be dangerous and can abduct kids or whatever, or tigers, whatever. It's just so weird. I can't do that. I can't even in the prompt, and then in the comments here, I don't understand. People are really taking this story very seriously, and they're like, "Oh no!" Yeah, and it's very inconsistent. So I don't know how you would use this app to actually create any kind of animated thing that would be coherent to users. I guess if you're just making a funny little commercial to try and sell the app that helps you turn text into video, yeah. I mean, I guess this is cool. I mean, cats are always a good, but the thing is with the internet, the reason why cats were so popular on the internet, I think, is because they were funny. I mean, they were actually funny. This isn't funny. This is just cringe, man. Like, I don't really understand what's going on here. He's like, and I'm not even going to get into the blatant plagiarism of this content, stealing actual artists' work that have been working. I'm going to get into that because that's beside the point. I just want to talk about just violence in cartoons and why we can't have that. So I don't know the answer, but I do know that I tried at some point because looking at the comments and wait a minute, when washing it, the shape of the meat without feathers was like that. They said it was a duck, but it wasn't a duck. It looked like never mind. What's the tool name to generate the videos? So I found the comment that I was looking for. How do I make these amazing, creative, funny videos? So it's a thing called basedlabs.ai. And I made some attempts to go on to Based Labs AI, and I failed. I could not get in. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I don't know why. It just set me in the loop. I tried to create a username so that I too could create these funny cat videos, which are not funny at all, in fact. So again, please, if someone understands this trend and can explain to me why so many people, I mean, these videos literally have millions and millions and millions of views, okay? And I'm looking at the comments, and then look, this last video here, it just looks like, this is, people are saying, why is Neza here? I mean, these are characters from actual known shows, and if you go on to, I was able to get into Based Labs, and basically, there's no, you can just take copyrighted images, you can take copyrighted stuff, and just go wild with it, and no one cares anymore about copyright. Nobody cares about the hard work of the artists that went into doing all this stuff. And what's going to happen is, and here's my prediction, is that we're just going to have a bunch of this content online, everywhere, just fake generated AI stuff. Some of it's going to be pretty good and you're not going to be able to tell. Some of it's just going to be ridiculous like this, but it's just garbage, pollution, and yeah, I don't know why. He's trying to hit the duck, and then the duck finally, yeah, and then this is a great example. And then there's just hundreds, if not thousands, of comments from people in different languages from all over the world really enjoying this content. Yeah, I don't get it. And I guess it's probably because I'm old. But if there's another reason other than me being old and just disconnected, if anybody understands this, let me know. Thank you. I'm gonna end on one last note on The Simpsons, which is always been one of my favorite shows of all time. The Simpsons, Marge and Homer, and Marge. Let's talk about Marge for a second, real quick. Marge, great episode of The Simpsons. Some of you who remember it from the '90s, where she rails out against Itchy and Scratchy. Itchy and Scratchy are supposed to be representative of like Tom and Jerry, or the ultra-violent cartoons that kids are exposed to. And she writes a letter to the studio and writes a letter to the newspapers and everything, and gets it kind of canceled. And at the end we realize, I'm not going to spoil it for you, that we do need violence in cartoons. I don't know why, but it's nice, it's fun. So please give it back to us. Give us the violence that we need in ways that we can, enjoy. Yeah, this has been a weird video, but I guarantee you it's not AI generated.